Welcome. In front of me is a Partner PS2, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks that you can do on this device. So to get started, we're going to begin with the airplane mode, and the use for it a little bit different than normal. So once you enable it, it disconnects you from basically everything, Wi-Fi, cell towers, and Bluetooth, stuff like that. But by doing so, it also, if you had some problems with your call quality, when it disconnects from the cell tower, and when you then disable airplane mode, it will reconnect, but the difference is now it's going to reconnect to the closest cell tower. So if you had problems, it will most likely improve the call quality, hopefully fixing the problem that you might have had. Now moving on, we're going to go into smart key settings, which will allow you to remap the button right here on the other side, which by default it launches camera, but you can actually set it to launch any, I think, app. So you would go into the settings, and from settings let's scroll up. It's smart key settings right here, and you have a list of apps that I have right now installed, and you can choose whatever you want for it to open. So I could check it to open file manager, and now when I press the key it will immediately open up the file manager. Now if I change it now to email, for instance, or downloads, it's gonna immediately open up a different app, as you can see. So it's a nice way if you want to have a quick access to a specific app with just a single press of a button. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna go into one thing that kind of annoys me personally, which is the password visibility. When you're typing a password, for instance, in Wi-Fi settings, if I go to any Wi-Fi that is protected, I start typing away, you can always see the latest letter that I have pressed. Not very secure in my opinion, so there is actually a way for you to hide that password. So in the settings, you'd go under security right here and scroll down, and you should have make password visible, turn that off. And now if we go back to putting in a password, just connect again to something, you can see that it's an immediate dot and there is no letter visible at any time. So a nice security kind of feature. Now moving on, we're going to go into the scheduled power on and off. Now it's advised for your device to be shut off at least around once a week, so it can clear the cache data and just perform a little bit better by just a plain old power on off. And you can actually set it up automatically right here in the settings. Right at the bottom you'll have scheduled power on and off, and you can enable it. So you can just enable both of them, and this is schedule power off. So we're going to begin with the off, and I wanted to, for instance, shut off at 11 p.m. Actually sounds good. Okay, so let's just tap on done. But I wanted to shut off only at a single day of the week, so Saturday seems good. And then I wanted to turn on the same day just a little bit, instead of being at 10, I think it was, gonna select it to be 11. Actually this was 11, so let's set it to 11:05, like so. And basically that's all it needs really, just a couple minutes. Just the process of shutting it on and off, or off and on, is good enough. Now the time, how long it's off, it doesn't really matter. If you would like to, you can always set up for basically every single day, so it shuts off, for instance, at night, just to preserve the battery, but you don't really need to. This is more advice to basically help the device perform better. So that's how you would set it up, and right now it will turn off at 11 p.m. and turn back on 5 minutes later every Saturday. And going back to the latest tweak that I want to share is the developer options way of reducing animations. So as you will see, everything is in a way animated. When you're trying to open it, the phone doesn't really perform too well, so the animations are kind of janky. So in my opinion, disabling them altogether is better than setting them to half speed even. But to enable them, or well, modify this, you would have to go into About Phone first. Disregard the fact that I already have developer options enabled. So About Phone, and find build number right here. Tap on it 7 times, where for me it says no need, you are now a developer. After 7th tap you'll have it enabled. or it will pop you up with a message to basically confirm pattern, pin, or password, or whatever it is that you have it set, if you have some kind of protection. If you don't, it will just automatically enable it. Then you can go back to the developer options and just enable it, okay, and scroll down where you will find window animation scale, transition animation scale, and animation duration scale. Now each one of them corresponds to a different kind of animation. For instance, the window animation scale, window is the tiny little pop-up that you get whenever you select something like, well, this, that's a window, and you could set it up to times 10, and now if I tap on it, you can see it fading in and out super slow. Or you can set it up to be completely off, like so, and now there won't be any animation. There's still kind of shadow animation where the background gets dimmed, but you can also change that, I believe, by setting these. Okay, so I guess the background doesn't really change, but I just set everything to off and there won't be any more animation of any sorts apart from all this one. But for this, like windows, whenever you tap on them, there's no zooming in or out, there's no sliding downwards where they're closed, they're just popping in and out of existence. So yeah, and that would basically conclude the tweaks and tricks that I wanted to share with you. And if you found any of them helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.